Welcome to the PFAFF 4D Configure lesson. Under the 4D Configure lesson, we're going to learn what wizards do and how to set up our machines. Open your 4D Configure by opening 4D and then selecting 4D Configure. You'll get the screen that you see on my computer right now. When we do that, we have a 4D Configure wizard right here. We're going to left click on that, and it brings up the 4D Configure wizard. The first choice will be Next. On this screen, we're selecting our background color and the texture for our background, as can be seen over to the right. You can choose whatever you like, and it will change accordingly. I selected Woven, and then Next. The next screen is Select Grid Color. I left mine at default, which is a dark blue. You can change that and make it anything that you choose. And Next. Select Theme allows you to set your desktop theme for 4D, and I chose Office 2007 Luna. You can select any of those that is your choice, just by selecting with the left click. And then Next. Select Color Worksheet Style. Realistic will show real thread views. Classic shows thread palettes or color palettes. And Next. Enter real size setting. This setting has to be accurate, and it's measured in millimeters. You want to measure this distance from here to here and put the appropriate number in this slot right here. Mine's 21 millimeters, so I'll leave that and select Next. Select measurement units. This is going to be how our screen looks when we have designs up, whether it gives us dimensions in millimeters or inches. I chose millimeters, but you can choose inches or millimeters, and select Next. The output format is the embroidery format that you choose to use. For my machine, I have a PFAFF Creative Vision, so I selected Husqvarna Viking PFAFF VP3. You have other options here. Again, choose the option that's appropriate for your machine and select Next. Select Import Thread Range. I recommend using the thread brand that you have the most of. Use the drop-down menu and select the thread that you prefer to use. I prefer Robeson Anton Poly 40. And Next. Select My Thread Ranges. My Thread Ranges allows you to change the thread ranges in My Thread Ranges. Click the Thread Manager button in Thread Manager. Select the My Thread Ranges tab at the bottom of the window. And you can see right here we can add new, or we can leave it at defaults, and that's for My Thread Ranges. Then select Next. My Machines allows me to add all the sewing machines that I own or all the sewing machines that I wish to control with my 4D software. So by selecting Add, I can choose the brand of sewing machine that I have right here in this window. And then I can select the machine model number right here. Again, using the drop down. You can add different machines, so once I've selected that, I say OK. And if I would like to add more machines, additional machines, just select Add and continue to add them. As you can see, I've added more than one machine as I have more than one. And then select Next. Automatically add to my hoops. By leaving a check mark in this box right here, it will add all the hoops for the selected machines that I added to my machines. And select Next. My hoops also shows me all of the hoops that are in my hoop range. Again, those will be for the ones that I selected for the machine brands that I put into my machines. You can go to Hoop Manager here and add or subtract things out of there. And OK. And then select Next. The summary window shows us exactly what we've selected, from background color all the way through to import thread ranges. It'll show everything that we selected in the previous screens. And then select Next. Select Machine for Send One options. On our 4D configure, we have two options for sending designs from our 4D software to our sewing machine. In the first Send option for Send One, we select the brand of sewing machine that we want to control. I selected PFAFF, and select your model number. I selected Creative Vision. And then Next. Now we're going to select how we're sending the design. For my number one option, I selected Direct USB Connection, which is the cable that runs from my computer to my sewing machine. And then I selected Next. Embroidery Machine Communication, I selected Start Automatically. That means it'll start when I turn my computer on. And select Next. This is the summary screen that will show us what we chose for Send One options. Again, in my choice, Creative Vision and Direct Connection USB. And Next. Here we have the option of either going to Finish, which would just complete the 4D Configure wizard, or we can select Next to complete our Send To options. I'm selecting Next. Again, we're going to select the brand. This doesn't have to be the same brand. I selected the same, my PFAFF, and I selected Creative Vision. And Next. Now on this screen, I chose the other option, which is USB embroidery stick. So for my Send To options, when I click Send To, it will send designs directly to the USB embroidery stick. And then select Next. Again, on the summary window, for Send To options, we see that I selected Creative Vision and USB embroidery stick. And select Next. At this point, we've completed the wizard, and select Finish. You'll notice here that we have the tabs that are exactly what we went through with the wizard, and you can see that I have a System tab, which again shows a summary of what we selected when we were setting up our Configure wizard. I also have a Send One option that is configured the way I set up my configure for Send One. And we have Send To, which again will reflect my Send To options. You can come into either of these tabs at any time and change the settings. If you do that, upon completion, select Apply and then OK. That concludes our lesson on 4D Configure.